Hey everyone, this is Raina Creel with Purpose and Passion. I'm really excited today because I'm all about empowering, inspiring, and educating and teaching awareness. And so before I introduce my guest, I wanted to talk to you about women empowerment and actually showing that I have these beautiful parrot earrings. I mean, they're gorgeous. And then I have some extra earrings. So I want you guys to go on Instagram to Style Digs, okay? And I will be putting this up on Purpose and Passion Show on my Instagram. So as we're fired up at City Club, really excited, thanks to Lux Media Studios. Lux Media, I mean. So today I have Victor Angel with Give Soap. And one thing that I like to do in life is network with people and people of color and everybody in between. And so I went to an event and I saw this power couple and they're giving back. And I love giving back to the community, So when I saw their mission to create this business and give back to our unhoused community, which I say homeless, but now I'm learning these verbiage, as I'm working with people in the homeless sector. And I'm just really excited to have you, Mr. Angel.
Thank you so much, Raina, for having us. My wife, too. She's off camera right now, but She'll have a moment to step in. But we thank you and we appreciate you having us on board.
Thank you. And please take the guest through memory lane, memory lane with, where your parents are from. Where were you born and raised, and how was your childhood?
Okay. Both parents are from Guatemala City, the capital of Guatemala. So they were born out there. They didn't migrate out here till they were about 9 and 12, I believe, around there. They met in high school. Even before that, though, I believe both parents, moms on both sides, worked together some way, somehow through stitching and making clothing and stuff like that. So they met even before they even got into high school.
Wow.
But they were never allowed to date or see each other. It was a very restricted, very okay, you got to court my daughter type of situation.
Yes,
so it's
like
very
Mexico.
Like Mexico.
Back in the days.
Back in the days, exactly. So it's very old school tradition. But they later on met in high school and they were pretty much destined for each other. Yeah.
Wow. So then you came on board,
and then
right?
we came on board. I'm one of 4, so I'm the second oldest. Okay. I got my brother Lino. It's myself, my younger brother Benjamin, and then my little sister Natalie. So we're 4.
Wow, one daughter out of the boys. Yeah. Wow, I know she's strong. That's for sure.
And she was the unplanned one. So I think my parents have been wanting Natalie since I was born. So I was supposed to be the girl.
Yes.
And then I was a boy, and so they tried again. And then my younger brother was supposed to be Natalie, and it came out as a boy. And it's just funny how things work, and God has his way of shifting things and really bringing it not only when we need it, but how we need it.
Yes, and his timing.
Exactly, it's all timing. And so now my mom always says, I'm so blessed to have had my 3 boys. I enjoyed my 3 boys, but now I get to enjoy my daughter, my youngest, which is my best friend. And I tell you all the time, I believe you remind me a lot of my mom's. Same physical features, red lipstick all the time, very right. Dresses very much she's always very on point with the earrings and everything. And so now she says, I get to shop with my little girl. I get to, hang out, do our nails, and it's like a very best friend relationship. And
it is, because I have 3 sons, right, and 2 daughters. So my 3 sons is you love your boys because you're mama boys, right? Right. But when it comes to your daughters, it's a different bonding. It is definitely a different bonding.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's a different bonding as well for the men. So
of course.
Men have that different
especially with the daddy's girl situation.
Exactly.
My mom always tell me oh, your dad. And I'm no, I just love my dad because that's my dad, right? But I love you because you're my mom. But it is a difference.
But that's my dad.
Definitely.
So there's always, that different, feel, right? When it comes to children. But it's just a good thing to see because it keeps my mom young. It keeps her,
yes, of course,
like, still living and wanting to live life and stuff. Yes. So it's a blessing all the way around.
So let's talk about high school.
Yeah.
You know how they tell us, like, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
Like, in second grade, I remember saying, I want to be the president of the United States and a ballerina. That's what I was in second grade.
Okay.
In high school, I just wanted to be a nurse or somebody that helps people. Right. I really wasn't really knowing exactly, even though my dream at 15 was to be mayor, but it looked like it was an impossible dream.
It was too far-fetched.
Yes, it was just impossible for me. So I said, medical assistant or a nurse, registered nurse, because they get paid more money.
Right.
But, when it was your time for somebody to ask you that question in high school, what was your answer?
My answer was I wanted to be a law enforcement officer.
Okay.
So I wanted to be in law enforcement, living and growing up in LA, born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be part of LAPD, but more importantly, I wanted to be a narc detective.
Okay.
That's always something that I've wanted to kind of, get involved in. Always helping people, but I enjoy solving problems and like solving puzzles. So, being a narc detective, that has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, I got into more like the science side of things, and I wanted to become a forensic.
Yes, I wanted to do that later in life too.
So, yeah, and that really intrigued me because, just the science behind finding out who was there, what time, when, and how, how people died.
Yes.
That was very intriguing for me. But then find out how much law enforcement officers make, and I was like, okay, that's not gonna happen.
Can't buy a mansion with that.
I cannot. And so I've always had, I've always liked nice things. I've always liked traveling and you live in LA, you see all the beauty of what LA can bring, and the lifestyle, and so I just knew that law enforcement wasn't gonna give me that.
Yes. What sign are you? Because you talked about that.
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, okay. Isn't Beyonce a Virgo?
Yeah.
Right. So that's so now I see why you're not settling for less.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're humble, but at the same time,
yeah.
God gives us the power to really create what we believe.
Yes, he does.
So, why not, And I learned that not even sky's the limit. Like there's even
we can
further
go
than
beyond.
That. We can go beyond, and we have the power to do so.
Yeah.
It's just mindset and how you set your mind to things. But most importantly, like my biggest thing was I just wanted to help people.
Yes.
So that's something I feel we have in common is really just reaching out and servicing those that need help.
So how did Give Soap start? I want to hear the story, and it smells so good. Oh my gosh.
Well, Give Soap was actually a very kind of spiritual type of developed company.
Yes.
I am still in the Airbnb space, and I have been for the past 8 years. So I host people in LA. I've hosted people in Phoenix, Arizona, Texas, Brooklyn. Just came back from Chicago, so we're looking to do some work out there.
Yes.
But pretty much just opening up like the home sharing sector to the world and business travelers, families, and stuff like that. The pandemic was a very tough time for me. It was a catastrophic event that practically put me through the ringer, and it knocked me down very, very hard to where I lost everything. So I went from being a very, very successful business entrepreneur to literally not even knowing where my next meal was going to come from.
Yes.
So, being evicted from places, losing my car, all these different things, it kind of really brought me back to a place where I was when I was 20 and a half, 21. And I was homeless for a little while. So when I was 21, I believe I was living in my car for about 6 months. Now, that's still very fortunate because there's still people that live on the street that don't even have a vehicle. And they have no way to go around. Public transportation is their only transportation, or their feet, right?
Yes.
And so living out of a car, it just kind of brought me back to that moment because it was like, okay, I don't have a car, but I still have a house. I still have a roof over my head. And so doing Airbnb in LA, I just started to notice like the increase of homeless, right? The rows and rows and rows of tents. And so that kind of, it hit me a way that I could understand now, having gone through what I went through back then. And so I just wanted to really, I kind of just told myself and had that heart to heart with God and myself. And I was just like, moving forward, I want to do things that involve helping people.
Yes.
Like, it's good to make money and it's good to, like, you know, live a nice life. But at the same time, what good is it if you haven't helped not one person?
Exactly.
So that's the kind of reflection that I was going through at that time when the pandemic hit. I lost everything. And yeah, I wanted a vehicle that can produce, but at the same time, just reach a masses of people that I know that need something like this.
Yes.
And hygiene is actually one of the least things that they actually get when being homeless. You know, they get food, they get, you know, clothing. There's a lot of different services that come out, but yeah, you see a lot of the people on the streets. They're not the cleanest, and it's because they also don't have the products to be able to keep them clean, or the services to, like, get a mobile shower out to them.
Yes, that's what we need, more mobile showers.
Yeah, so that's one of our kind of things on the forefront that we actually want to work towards, is actually delivering these showers to these people in different cities.
Yes, of course.
So we talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, remember when we were like Inglewood, LA area?
Right. Yeah,
when we
it's all, and LA to me is everything. Like, I wasn't born in the city.
Yes.
I was born more on the west side, you know, kind of by USC, little outskirts of that.
We call it South Central LA.
There you go.
The University of South Central.
For those of you who don't know, if you don't know. So it's been a real privilege to be where I've been in my life, and to be able to come up with, and, you know, a lot of the credit I give to God, because it was something that He put on my heart. You know, I can't sit here and say it and take all the credit. You know, He actually told me, and the way the company really started was, I kind of had it like a daydream. It was a vision where He said, "Go out and wash feet."
Wow.
Now, I didn't know, like, how or where I was going to do that.
Yes.
I knew what that meant, right, in the Bible, but I was just kind of trying to, like, picture and see, like, do I even see myself doing this?
Yeah.
And this was a very, like, kind of big calling for me. And it was like a moment where, was my faith going to take over, or was my fear going to take over? And so I said, well, you know, I don't have anything. I have nothing to lose, really. So let me just go out and let me just give a helping hand. And that's how it started.
How did you start, though? Because you know how many people wish they can kind of like start something to create a soap. You know, you don't have to give your secret, but a little bit of an idea, because obviously your soaps are all amazing. Okay. They're all amazing, right?
Thank you.
And they're considered organic?
They're all natural. We can't say organic because we don't have the patent or the label for it.
Okay. See, now you're educating us.
It's something that you need to pay for, and it costs thousands of dollars to even get some type of verification like that.
Okay.
But yeah, we're in the process of doing that. But we just say all natural, because we do use all natural ingredients.
That's fine.
To formulate the product. But I found out early on that I'm not the best at making soaps. Like, it's not a very easy process. You kind of need to learn and allow it to cure and dry up and all that, and harden. And so it's a process, just like baking is, right? Like, not everyone's a good baker.
Yes.
So with that being said, I found early on, I was like, you know what? I can't spend my time doing this. It's way too much for me to learn how to make a product like this. Let me just reach out to an expert. So my mom was the one that told me, she's like, hey, I know you're kind of dealing with soaps and you're looking for X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
Here's the contact to my friend. He has his own soap company, and he tells me he has the machines and stuff like that. So I was like, that's interesting, God kind of.
Yeah, that's God lining things. Like, so, less stress for you.
And through my mom, like, that's like a 100% go. Like, anytime she brings something to me, it's always, because I believe we got the entrepreneurial spirit from her. She's always been the one that was very, like, supportive and behind, like, us doing things, and from DJing to the Airbnbs to now the soap. She's actually my number one customer. Like, she buys from me all the time. And she said, yeah, reach out to this guy. So I reached out to him, and I started to really just compare products, do product testing. I started, the first 6 months was all product testing. So I not only tried his, but I tried other companies, and from Dr. Squash to all these, amazing brands.
Yes.
And I finally found the one pretty much production team, right? Because now I hired them on as my production team to really carry out the vision of what Give Soap was. So I wanted to give a good product, for the people that purchase, for our clients, But I also wanted to provide a great product for the people that live on the streets.
Okay.
So not kind of, cut corners or do anything like that. I really wanted to produce a solid product that can help and benefit those, pretty much everybody.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, that was the whole kind of like how it started and how I actually came about the actual product. Now, the packaging, what you see, it's pretty much all my design.
I love it.
I drew it out. I spent a lot of time just, envisioning, and I have from the first copy that I made. This is probably like the 10th draft or something like that.
Wow.
And I'm still looking to kind of improve and make some tweaks to it, as a lot of product-based businesses has to do with packaging. And
yes.
knowing that, it's a lot about how we market.
I like your packaging. And talking about I wanted to say that the Wild Passion, I love it.
Well, this one?
Yes. My favorite is the lavender, because I love lavender. Obviously, it puts you to sleep. And when people think of Give Soap, what's the mission? The purpose.
The purpose. I mean? Well, actually, our slogan is matching every purchase with a purpose. So now it's like, okay, you see us going out, my wife and I, or some of my friends and team that go out and serve. You've been there with us, so you know what it's like. You don't have to go that extent. Now you can literally, and it says it on the back. I'll read it to you guys. It says, "Thank you for giving hope through our soap.
Yes.
We commit to donating 1 bar to someone in need for each bar you buy." Wow. Right? So it's a very, very simple, clear, cutthroat message.
Yeah.
You buy a bar and you give a bar. So now you can literally take a shower, and every time you shower, know that you're impacting the life of someone that lives on the street. Or it could be a homeless shelter. It could be a refugee camp. I mean, we've served from pretty much different parts of Los Angeles, as well as even hitting territories like Tijuana, Mexico, Ensenada, Mexico. And so we're still looking to expand. I know I'm in contact with some people out in the DR. You probably know them, mutual friend, but Cecilia Mota. If
that sounds familiar.
She's the daughter of Manny Mota, the Dodger.
Okay.
Yeah, so she does a lot of amazing work out there. Shout out to her. But we're trying to create a connection to where I can actually even produce products for her village out there, which she houses, and she gives food to many different celebrations, Christmases, Thanksgiving. So yeah, just finding ways to really connect with different organizations that are already doing it, and just kind of connecting the bridge.
Well, I'm going to connect you with somebody that is building houses in Mexico or TJ, like little houses, so they don't have to live.
What's his name?
It's 2 women.
It's a women.
It's 2 women. So I will connect you with them too.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
But talking about the business, when you met your girlfriend and you guys got married, did the brand expand or did something change? Because they always say when a man finds a woman, he finds a good thing. Right. So I want to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing, and it added value to the company. And I'm sure you saw that because she caught your attention, right?
Yes. She was a sweetheart, like a social butterfly energy, you know, where you attract boop, and that's what I went straight to her.
And I like to call that, she's like a light, right? She's just beaming of light. She's always just, smiles, teeth. And so everything that you see is exactly what I asked for in a partner.
I love, can you share a little bit about that story? Because I want people to understand that it's manifesting and writing goals and praying to God doesn't mean material things. It can mean your soulmate.
100%.
And I love your story.
Yeah. So let me just kind of give you a quick snapshot. Being in LA and living in LA, you know what it's like.
Yes.
The people out here have changed. It's not the same LA that it was 15, 20 years ago.
Correct.
We'll drink to that. So with that being said, I just kind of gave up on the whole dating thing. You know, I just said, you know what? I've had it. I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not getting into sexual relations with anybody. And so I just kind of cold turkey, cut it off. And I just said, God, I'm giving this to you. You know what I need in my life. I know what I want. You know what I need. And, the word says that he will give us the desires of our heart. So I literally just prayed out to him, and I cried out and I said, take this from me and just give me give me my wife, and that's all I want.
Wow.
Right? Anything else, I'm uninterested. I'm tired of these games. I'm tired of just just the
fakeness.
The fakeness, right?
On the body and the mind. Sorry, I had to say.
Right. No, but and it's true, because it's like nowadays it's really hard to see or find a woman that's just natural beauty.
Yes.
And just natural heart and natural mind. Like, it's very, very difficult. So I completely just gave it to him, and I asked him to veil my eyes, cover my ears, and just take over. And so since that moment, I literally could not see a woman. It was crazy. So I knew right away that God had answered my prayer, and I said, okay, cool. That means I'm closer to finding my wife, because he's now blocking me from all the doors that I would potentially, as a man, want to open.
Yes.
And, just being real, there are times where I'm like looking and like, oh,
yeah, because you're human.
Right. Is that her? Is that her? And I'm like looking. But at this point, I was doing that, but I couldn't see anybody.
Yes.
So it wasn't until maybe about 2 months later, we met at Treehouse, right? We met there. We went out to bachata salsa night.
Yes.
And I love to dance, like I've been dancing for years. And so this is my like maybe 4th, 5th year away from the scene. Yes. And a friend of mine had said, hey, I want to learn how to dance. I know you're a good dancer. Just take me. Like, let's go. And she's a female. Yes. So she's like, oh, like, all right, fine. So she dragged me out kind of because I didn't want to go. Yes. And she found the spot, everything. So she brought me there. And little did I know that her friend actually did the same exact thing to her.
Wow.
Yeah. She wanted to be out at some other place. And she said, no, I found this really good spot. It's brand new. I think they might have checked online. It said it was closed. But she's like, no, but someone told me that it was open. So they still ended up going. Pretty much God made it so that we were there in that one place. And so showing up, that was the first thing on my mind. I said, okay, is my wife here? And I said that out loud. I was like, is my wife here? And I started looking. And, I didn't see her until I think later down, it was a class that was going on. So later on in the class, I finally just stepped aside because it was too basic for me. So I was like, all right, let me just step aside and let me just post up. So I looked, and she was literally across from me, and I was like, wow. It was like,
how did you feel? Because you said you could look at women, but there was no connection.
Right.
But that feel.
I just knew right away she was my wife.
Wow.
It was like God was revealing to me and opening the curtain of my eyes, and it was just like this beauty. It was very unexplainable, but that's the best way I can explain it. And I just knew right away. I was like, wow. And I, like, my friend that was with me at the time, she heard me say, like, wow, like, dude, that's my wife over there. Like, look.
Yes.
And she was, she was like, whoa, wow, I can see that. Bro, go get it. So she, it was a very divine kind of moment. And I love it. And so I literally just spent the rest of my night looking at her and trying to get a dance, because she was a hot commodity. Everybody wanted to dance with her.
Yes.
Everybody. And it was like guy after guy. And it's like, I didn't want to seem like that desperate dude that's just waiting for a dance. Yeah. So, and I was, I'm Victor Angel, and so I was like, I'm a good dancer. I know, I know what I bring. So I wanted to just make it a very natural kind of.
Yes, of course.
And so finally I saw her at the bar, and she was by herself, and I was like, okay, it's my shot. So I'm gonna go. So I went for it, and I just, started a conversation. Nothing really happened that night as far as dancing. She actually turned me down.
But did you get her number?
I got her Instagram.
Okay, that's important. Okay, that's a good connection.
I got her Instagram. I mean, nowadays, it's like the thing you ask for. You can tell a lot from a person through their Instagram, like what they do. Of course, yes. How do they talk? Like, what groups are they around? And stuff like that. So I, of course, went through her Instagram, and she was all about financial seeds, and she had her own little brand going. And so I was like, okay, I like this business professional that I'm seeing online. I'm like, okay, I want to know more about her. Yes. Right. Aside from the beauty and everything like that, like she got some brains behind her. So I said, I want to get behind that for sure. Yes. So, it was actually her. She reached out to me after that. She reached out, and I was dancing with my Great Dane, Zeus. We were dancing at the time, put some bachata on, and we were just playing around. And I guess that caught her eye, and she said, wow, like, I missed out. I should have danced with you that night.
Oh.
Yeah. And I said, well, don't you worry. Like, let's go out tonight and we can make it up. We could dance and whatever. So we ended up dating for a little while after that.
Yes.
And within 2 weeks, I told her, look, you're going to think I'm crazy, right? But you're my wife. And I just wanted to tell you that.
God, that is beautiful.
And she kind of laughed and, played it off a little bit. Like, she heard that, I guess, a lot. And I said, look, you can laugh all you want. You can laugh, you can sit here, but I know, like, within my heart and soul that you're my wife. Wow. And, it's going to happen. So,
well, I'm going to tell you this. We only have a few minutes, so I wanted to bring up Miss Angel to the chair real quick before we close it off. Angel, so you're here in the hot chair right now.
I am, yes. Set the plate nice.
Yes. So now you guys are married. You're about to become a mom. And, when you got married to him, obviously I'm going to interview you on a different by yourself because you're into like finance, right?
Finance. I'm a notary. I have my own notary business, but also a lot about food too and just health.
Yeah, we're going to have a different segment, but we're going to continue on as Miss Angel and Give Soap. And, how are you playing your part as a wife?
Right. Truly, it's really been a heart change. And I always start by letting people know that my heart transformation started when after salsa, he said, oh, let me give you a foot massage. And I was like, foot fetish? Like, we don't do this. And he said, no, in his genuine, authentic self said, no, I'd like to give you a foot massage. Well, in turn, he used, I didn't know, but he used Give Soap to wash my feet, which I had never had that done. And I always tell everyone, if you haven't had that experience, let us have the privilege of doing that to you, or have somebody that maybe you want a heart restoration. Maybe it could be a strange relationship. Because there's a lot of power that comes through that. And in a lot of cultures, it's actually one of the highest respects. Wow. So, when he did that, it actually opened my heart, I think, to love in a more depth way. Yes. And I wasn't expecting that, to the point that it literally opened my heart to say, there's something more. And that was the first, I think, step. Then when he invited me to go out on Skid Row with him to wash feet, I was like, I would love to just be help. And I will just help set up and do everything. But not wash feet. I literally close my heart. And I understand when people are like, I'm okay, and they're more timid, they don't. So I understand that. But this one time, there was just such a demand, and so many people had just felt the presence and just felt this peace of, wow, I can come here and rest. And rest is so important to our bodies. So there was a gentleman that said, yes, but I'd like you to wash my feet. So I was called out, and I felt that. And it was something that if I said no, I would regret it. So in my stigmas of like, oh, what if they have like weird feet, or everybody is. Of course, no,
we're human. I have a foot fetish. If I see ugly toes, I'm like,
right. So it's normal. So I said, oh Lord, please let me not. And actually, the guy had nice feet. Well, so I opened up. I had done that, and he was really moved by it. And I didn't know that I was going to have my next heart transformation of love in a more selfless way. That he actually wanted to give his life to Christ after that. It was really powerful. So I just wasn't expecting that me saying yes to an unknown would just open up doors.
Did you see how God used you as a vessel for this man? Yeah. And then on top of that, you think about the Bible. Jesus was so humble that he washed people's feet. Right. So that's just really inspiring. Yeah. So we're going to bring Mr. Angel behind you, because we're going to close out. Yeah. So I want you guys to give a message out there to our viewers on purpose and passion before we close, to inspire them as a couple, as business owners, and giving back.
Yes. Well, from my heart, first and foremost, we all, if you live anywhere, you're privileged to shower. There's a lot of mental transformation that can happen. So giving that chance to someone to cleanse from the outside in can do a lot. So I know our heart is, inviting you to partner with Give Soap. You can make so much of a difference in the products you use and say, I know I'm making a difference because I believe in what someone's doing. And whether it's serving with us or if it's just buying products and giving it to people, it's a gift that keeps on giving, which is something that we just absolutely love.
How can the viewers find your business on Instagram or online?
Give.soap on Instagram.
Yeah, do you want to share? Oh, you're on the mic. Here I was trying to do a balance. You can find us on Instagram at give.soap. And you can find us on Facebook.
Yes.
Our website is give.soap.com or givesoap.com. My apologies. That's givesope.com. So really excited. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Of course.
And
yes.
we love purpose and
shout out
connected
to Raina
purpose.
Korea.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, November 8, 2022. God will give me that seat, and we're going to be collaborating together.
Yeah,
okay.
we can't wait.
Yes. So I'm very grateful that you guys were both here to share your testimony and to share about Give Soap and the passion that you have. And the most important for me is being Christians, being believers. It's so important. It's so important in the world that we live in right now. Yeah. So thank you so much. Well, this is Raina Carrillo with Purpose and Passion signing out with Lux Media. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Glutathione is a big word. It's the body's own master antioxidant. It's a scavenger for free radical, bacteria, and viruses. There are no products in the market with the ingredient NASET. NASET increases the production of glutathione that's in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system, elevate sense of well-being, support muscle strength and endurance, cognitive function, and liver support. It helps with increased energy and blood sugar regulation. Get your bottle of GSH Plus from www.salvationnutra.com.